What's up? I'm Jason Lee, a kiteboarder, a stand-up paddler, a hydrofoiler, a drone pilot, a private pilot, and an entrepreneur. I love traveling, taking video, photos, building drones, and all the gear involved with my business and hobbies. Join me on product reviews and adventures.
You can drive me to your heart.
All right, so we just got some Syrp. I think that's how you say it. Syrp Genie, magic carpet, and these little pan tilt guys. So let's go ahead and open it up. This is a slider that does motion control for pan and tilt. That's what these guys are. And comes with the magic carpet slider. What's in here? This is the pan tilt bracket, little connection cables, and this looks like a Canon cable and the connection cable for the pan tilt. And in this box, I had one of these little LiPo warnings, so I'm assuming that this has the actual Genie. It's kind of nice, the Syrp Genie, the magic carpet. All go hand in hand. It's packed pretty well. So here is the Genie. This is like the brain of your slider control. As you can see, it's pretty nice. It's kind of heavy because it's got a battery in there and it's got a motor, so this thing spins on its own. So you've got a couple options. If you just mount this to a tripod, do your settings on here, it's just going to rotate. If you mount it to this guy here, this will get placed on the magic carpet and it slides around. This is how it controls motion. And apparently you can attach these to any DIY rigs and have it slide around for 100 meters. I think on their website they said they did it on the lake. But I'm really excited about this just because mainly everything is kind of contained right here in this unit. You don't have to deal with a separate motor or a different time controller or a different controller. Everything's right here. You can control it. It's got the motor and the slider all in one place. So I actually just sold my Canova slider and am pretty happy that I have this thing. And it's going to be a lot easier to travel with, a lot easier to use. It's not going to take me 20 minutes to set up and do calculations on my phone. I can just do everything in here, and if you stay tuned, we'll have some reviews on how it actually works. What else we got in here in the Genie box? We got some world adapter plugs so you can charge this thing. They do recommend not using third-party power supplies, but I think I might go do that anyway. Just because I like to be able to have, batteries on the go. I'll find out the voltage that it needs, 15 volts, probably a 4-cell LiPo, and if you get the plug in here, it looks like it's off a little ways. It's kind of strange. It looks like that the DC plug is just shifted a little bit to the side. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be or if that's a problem. So I'll find that out shortly when we actually use it. I'll just go ahead and finish unboxing everything we got. Magic Genie, magic carpet. It's getting confusing with all these parts. But hopefully, once we get it set up, there won't be too many parts to mess with. So these guys are the little motion control for pan and tilt. I already talked about that, but as you can see, cork on one side, cork on the other. Got two of them. You need pan and tilt. If you just wanted pan, then you just get one of these things and you can set it on top of the Genie and then put your camera right here and it just rotates nicely. Tilt bracket. So as you can see, one's going to sit here, and the other one's going to get mounted to this guy, and then you can have some pretty crazy time lapse with pans and tilts if you got time to wait around, which I think is definitely worth it if you can get in the right spot and do a good, cool time lapse. You can get some pretty amazing shots with motion control. What else comes in here? Lift, quick start guide, which is kind of cool. Whoa, what else? And aha, USB cable, a little cleaning cloth, a little added bonus, and accordion instructions in multiple languages. So I think we've got most of this open, except for this slider. Let's check this thing out. So these are all pretty cool. This company's out of New Zealand, one of my favorite countries, second to America. But everything's made in China. But they're engineered in New Zealand, and that is probably one of the best places to be doing time lapses, I would think, because you've got some amazing landscapes there. And this is the magic carpet. Super light. I'm really excited about this. This is less than half the weight of the Canova slider. Of course, it's 800 millimeters. The Canova I had was 1200, but this is still super light, and it's designed pretty well. It's going to be cool to travel with this. It's going to fit in most suitcases. There is also a 5-foot version, which I'll probably get just for local stuff that I can get to without getting on a plane. But this will be kind of cool just because I can travel with it. It'll strap on my back pretty easy on the backpack and go on some cool hikes and set this up and not have to worry about carrying around 5 feet of slider. Carriage and end caps. This thing is pretty cool. I mean, these guys did a lot of thinking to design this. What I really like about this is this little piece right here. You can switch between 1/4 20 and 3/8. Super easy. There's a little tab in here with a little piece of leather that you can pull on. Probably can't see it, but it's right in there. And then this guy, 1/4 20 one side, 3/8 on the other side, and it just slides right in and securely stays there. And you can also adjust. It looks like you can adjust. This is your clamp that locks on, and this looks like a little drag adjustment here. So if you got a heavy camera and it's sitting on a slope and you don't want it sliding that fast, you can adjust the drag on it. Right. These end pieces, they appear to just kind of suction in there. You've got a rubber end here. You've got a pin that pulls it and compresses this rubber, which causes it to expand, causing friction inside this tube. So once it's expanded, it's going to stay in there until you release it. So let's just kind of check this out. We'll put this end piece in just like so. And then clamp those in. Clamp that in. Now it's in there. Oh, so that can just kind of hang out like so. And then this guy, whoa, that slides real smooth. All right, that's enough of that. Cool, so this will go on both sides. All right, so there we go. Magic carpet is ready to fly. And again, you can adjust the drag on this too by adjusting this little turquoise tab in here. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I can feel it's getting a little tighter. It's a little slower. So, I stand corrected. This little unit in the back, this turquoise guy, is for making sure that the magic carpet is secure on the sliding track. So that way it doesn't kind of loosen around. If you loosen it up, you can kind of see if there is some play in there, so make sure it's pretty snug before you start shooting. Well, anyways, this is the magic carpet, little slider, and we'll go and do some tutorials on exactly how to use this thing and what kind of footage we can get with this. And if it works out good, we can probably sell these and give you guys a discount for watching these reviews. So as you can see, this slides really well. They don't call it the magic carpet for no reason. So now this is put together, we can start mounting things from the bottom up. So we'll start with the rope contraption here. This is basically, you've got the plus side and the minus side. So I'm going to put the plus to your right. And this is pretty easy. You just kind of tighten down on this and it tightens down on that nut. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and tie the end point on this minus side. I like to bring this all the way to the end because you don't want it too tight, otherwise it's not going to slide very well. So that way we've got this is guaranteed that it'll at least be at this point when it comes around. And then just, yeah, wrap that a few times. We have some excess. I think there's enough for the 5 foot, but I'm just going to wrap this around here and should be secure enough to move up and down the track. The next thing we're going to mount is going to be the Genie. Alright, so now that we got this the rope attachment on here, we're going to mount the Genie. So you'll notice there's like this red sign that comes up, little exclamation mark. That means it's not closed all the way. So we're going to mount it and then just make sure it's closed all the way. Okay, so that's closed and mounted on there. So the next step is going to be the Genie Mini. Alright, so the Genie Mini is just going to mount on. There we go. And I don't like to tighten it super tight, but just tight enough so there's not much play in it. So after the Mini will come this L bracket, and it just kind of mounts on there pretty easily too because it's got this thread just right on the top, so you don't have to spin the whole thing around, which is kind of convenient. So get that pretty tight, and then now we're going to mount the tilt arm. So there's a tilt arm that's been mounted, and then this is what's going to hold your camera. And you can go ahead and mount that on there too. So now, so these get connected to your phone, and you can control them through your phone. And for some reason, this doesn't have a phone option, so it gets connected through this cable here. So when you connect to it on your iOS or your Android device, you'll connect to these two. They'll be linked together, and then you can, this is the pan, and then you can connect to the tilt. So as long as these are in place, you can use all 3 of them, all 3 axis. Pan, tilt, and tracking in your shots. Alright, so all you gotta do is just power this on. And you have to make sure they're all on the latest firmware. If you upgrade one of them, if you want them all to sync together, they all have to be upgraded. So I just updated all these. These 2 you can do through your phone, and this one you need a USB stick that you have to put inside. So let's just check out a video real quick. You can either go to a new recording or you can visit one of these preset ones. You can save your own. And it comes with 2, a video, a slow and a fast one. So this is the shorter track, so I'm going to edit this so it doesn't keep going when it hits the end. And we're going to go down to 69 centimeters in the plus plus direction, which is this side. We don't want to go that way. Okay, and then you just hit start. And you've got a perfect tracking shot. So I went back a little too far, so maybe a little less than 69. Then if you hit return to home, it goes all the way back. All right, so now you can turn these guys on and connect to your app so you can control all three motions. We got the panning and tracking, these are connected as one, and you got the tilting, which is connected as a separate one, and then once you connect them all, you got all three. So it's super easy. We're going to do a video, and there's one that's like already set up for us on here, and it's going to go 69 centimeters in the plus plus direction. It's going to tilt 30 degrees down and 50 degrees clockwise. And you can also set different settings if you're shooting HDR to give your camera time to process it or take all 3 to 5 shots. Or you can do some easing in and out, so it kind of slows into a turn or slows into a pan. So we're going to go ahead and hit record. And as you can see, it's just like magic. If you want to pause it, you can stop and hit return to go back to home. And it goes full speed back home. That's full speed. Okay, so if we're going to do, that was a video, and if we're going to do a time lapse, let's do one of the pre-recorded ones. People, clouds, I like to do clouds. And again, it presets your tilting. You can control it to kind of get an idea of where you want it to go. And then you can kind of play through that pan if you want, seeing how fast it's going to actually pan before you commit to an actual time lapse. Do the same thing for the tilt, and you can kind of preview this whole thing as well just by hitting the play button. So you can kind of set your shot up that way for the time lapse. So I just hit return, and if you hit the record button, it's going to record your time lapse and start taking photos. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go out somewhere and get some cool time lapse shots.
You can drive me to your heart.